Hey guys, it's Austin the Doctor here, and I did a poll on Twitter, and majority wanted me to do the review for Darling in the Franxx the second half, and truthfully, I don't think a lot of you are going to like this one, because I'm going to be 100% honest, just like my the good, the bad kind of thing for Darling in the Franxx video I put out. I don't know when I'm going to put this review out, because I'm going back and forth on this, but anyway, so if you hear random cuts, no, that's me kind of going back and kind of thinking of what I want to say correctly. So, a little heads up there. But I'm going to do this review very different from the normal ones I do, because I've covered this one so closely, and I put a lot of time into this series, and it wasn't as great as the first half of the anime. And truthfully, it's very sad, because after episode 15, you really could take it and say it's a different anime, because in reality, it really was. And I had a lot of hope for this series, and spending 6 months of my life onto this series, the ending wasn't so great. And this is going to have spoilers, obviously, because this is the second half. But anyways, let's start with the first episode in the second half, episode 13. That was a 10 out of 10 thing, honestly, and I love that episode. It made me really love the series even more, because it was Zero Two's, little kind of thing of what she was when she was little, and how Hero and Zero Two met, and we saw why they don't remember each other. And it was a very good episode and well done. Then let's get to the next episode, and I'm going to be very honest with the next episode, episode 14, one of the really poorly written episodes, and it started to really make me see episode 23 and 24 were exactly written the same way. And I'd give it a 3 out of 10, episode 14. And coming from episode 13, it made it 10 times worse, in my opinion, because you gave us something really good, then you just kicked us right in the gut. Like, not even the gut, you uppercutted us with that episode. And I know Studio Trigger actually pulled out with its funding because it didn't have enough for that series. And when people are usually saying, oh, Studio Trigger had a hand in it, yeah, the animation and the financing, they didn't have anything, believe it or not, with the story. And the story was written by the people that have written Eve, two of the writers from Eve, and the guy that wrote Panty and Stocking. So if you wanted to know that, that's a little fun fact. But that was just it. Episode 14 was poorly done, and it took whatever was previously written and threw it out, because it didn't matter, apparently. And getting on to the next episode, episode 15, the episode that really redeemed a lot of stuff in the series, and it was beautiful, especially to see this contrast of Hero and Zero Two being apart finally, and Hero realizing that he's the one that made the mistake, and them coming back together. And it really showed character development for Zero Two and Hero, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful episode, and I'd give it a 10 out of 10. And I would love to rewatch this again. And truthfully, I would love to take episode 13, 15, and the previous ones all into one volume and watch them over and over, because that, in my opinion, was beautiful. But going on to the next couple episodes, and I'm going to group 16 to 18 in the same category, because I'm going to be quite honest, they were unnecessary episodes. They didn't really give us much, but they weren't bad, so I have to give them the average rating of 7 out of 10, all of them. And episode 18 is what kickstarted a lot of the stuff, especially with what we thought would have been a revolution. Then we get to episode 19, the very weird, not too much information, and I really do think that's where everything started to show that the writers didn't want to do anymore. They were tired, and the director wasn't really doing his job, and people would love to blame that, oh, it was because Studio Trigger pulled out. No, it's more of A1 wasn't really putting the pressure on the director, because the director obviously was having too much fun doing with I don't even know what, honestly. Because episode 20, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't as bad as everyone made it to be, because it explained everything previously in episode 19, which usually the series does. Then going to 21, it was good, action-packed, but at the end, it really this is where the series, in my opinion, started to go really down, and I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Then episode 22, that was purely a painful episode, and truthfully, we did not need that episode. we could have done this all with the slice of life, honestly, episodes, in my opinion, but just, it was painful, and this is what I really do think that killed a lot of the hype for it. Seeing Zero Two in this vegetable state and her not being herself, and it doesn't make sense of why they would do something this stupid. But hey, it got even worse the next episode, episode 23, the episode, in my opinion, that really just completely made us all lose hope. And I gave that a 2 out of 10. And it literally threw everything all into one thing, and it didn't need to explain anything, apparently. And this is where I think the director just stopped caring. It seems that he told all the writers to write a part and throw it together, somehow it would work. And people try to defend episode 23. I know some YouTubers, I have to agree, after episode 20, you kind of just lost hope. You didn't really have a high expectation for Darling the Franxx, and that's one thing I do have to agree in. Seeing that episode 24, but I'm not going to go quick all into 24 yet, but 23 just, it didn't make sense. Having the Franxxes automatically somehow equipped to go into space without explaining anything or anything building up to it, then Zero Two becoming straight, the A pass, just too much of what. And it sucks because A pass, the Zero Two that turned into it, it was beautiful. It really was. That episode was visually beautiful, and just after like 20, it just seems the action wasn't as great. And it could be due that Studio Trigger didn't want to animate it as well anymore, and they handed it off to Cloverwork. And sadly, if we see the result of that, then 24, the final, or the finale, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Because, truthfully, yes, it was beautiful and everything. Just, they ruined Zero Two and Hero for simply killing them off to suicide mission, the Verm hive mind, which didn't matter because, they are, Verm's alive still. They died for no reason. That's what pisses me off. I'm like, you killed them for no reason, basically. You just killed them to have a reaction. And that is a horrible way of doing something. And that really shows in the Eve writers. And I don't like it. I really don't. And going to, the time skips, there were so many of them. In my opinion, they were better off just doing 2 time skips the entire episode. I think that would have been completely better off. They could have cut a lot of the stuff out. They could have shown, Zero Two's stone body saying darling and skipping to the end of seeing the 2 kids together of Zero Two and Hero. We obviously know that's them. And going back to, they were killed for no reason. They were brought back after. What was the point of killing them just to bring them back? Was it just because of merch sales? You want to keep selling your merch? I guess that's how I saw it. But overall, it seems after episode 20, they literally turned Zero Two into this character that really wasn't her and kind of took her out, which ruined the series. Honestly, I know people will try to defend the series, and I applaud them because you can take a beating, and I try to defend it as much as possible. But after episode 23, I couldn't take it. I try to defend it, but I can't. And honestly, you shouldn't defend this series as much as you should, because you're gonna see it later on if you don't see it now, but it's not well done. The writing was pretty bad. And going to the Naomi thing, and I'm pissed that she's alive because of the simple fact that she was just brought back to be Ikono's partner. And funny enough, one of my friends, Shatner or James, brought up the point that she couldn't use her arm, so she was crushed. But her arm was actually damaged, so yeah. But overall, I'd give this anime a 6 out of 10. It wasn't as great as the first half, and when I say this anime, I mean the second half. Obviously, I know people are going to be very pissed off with what I just said, but I'm trying to give you an honest review with this, and it wasn't great. And it's sad to see such a great series like Darling in the Franxx be completely ruined by poor decisions. And it's funny because we're seeing A1 suffer now and Studio Trigger suffer to the point that they're not. I'm pretty sure SAO season 3 is going to be very under budget. And it honestly, the director, if he never gets another gig, I'm not going to feel bad because you can't do something like that. And I know, it's not the director's fault. Yes, if you didn't know, the director is, the direction. He teaches he kind of enforces which way you want to go with it. That's why if a movie usually is really bad, the director is the first one to get blamed. Or if a television show or a drama. And I mean, look at SAO. They had to switch their director at one point. And look at Two Love Road. They switched their director for Motto. And that was a really good season. And it's just funny because Nishigori he was not thinking, honestly, with episode 23 and 24. As I said, this could have been good. It really could have been a good anime. It could have ended off very well. And how would I have done everything? I know I get this question a lot. How would I have done Darling in the Franxx? Well, after episode 18, cut it off. I would have said, okay, we'll come back for another season kind of thing, and just ended on the whole, Kokoru and Mitsuru getting their minds erased or altered. And leading to the next one, I would have I would have enough time to kind of give Dr. Franxx a better backstory, because truthfully, he didn't really get a good backstory, and I'm very still curious about what he did and what his dark secrets were, but we never found that out, and we never found out what Hiro really was. We never found out Nana and Hachi's background, but hell, we had Naomi come back. Literally, I'm sorry, from the dead. If her arm wasn't working, why? Just why? That's my biggest question, especially with episode 23 and 24. That's the biggest thing I kept getting. And it's just sad because this probably will get a movie. I don't think a second season. It probably, if they're planning to get a second season, they're not going to have the sales to back it up, because I've seen a lot of nasty comments about this finale, and I'm not going to personally read them because you can go look it up yourself. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's quite interesting because a lot of people are on the same page of it wasn't what it deserved. It needed to be better. And some people do like it. I'm like, okay, you can like what you want, but you're going to realize eventually, because it's going to be painful. And it's been sitting in me for a while. And I'm very happy I got to do the review. And I'm happy you guys actually watch these videos. But overall, Darling in the Franxx, its entire series, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Combine both scores that I previously did. And for a person that wants to watch this and they ask you, hey, should I watch Darling in the Franxx? Yes, watch episodes 1 through 15. Do not watch anything after. That's what I would tell them, honestly, because it lost its cool action. And I don't care what anyone says, this anime had really good mecha fights against the Glocksaurs, and it's sad it just stopped. I wish it would have continued, but hey, we can't do much anymore. But anyways, guys, this was my review. What did you overall think of Darling in the Franxx? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you disappointed with the ending, but you still like the series? Because that's how I am. Do you love Zero Two still, even though we didn't really get a very good ending? I wouldn't even call it bittersweet. It'd be, I don't know, something sweet. But overall, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Austin the Doctor signing out. Peace.